I feel bad for Selena Gomez. It seems like she is just an extremely anxious person, which, as someone who does have diagnosed anxiety, I get it, but not to this extent. As a child star growing up in Disney, I'm sure there are so many horrific stories that she's never even really talked about. Then her relationship with Justin Bieber was detrimental. It also led to her drinking a lot and using things that she's been able to overcome. And while she is such a strong person, we have to acknowledge that there is going to be some PTSD associated with all of that. Over the years, Selena Gomez has been an inspiration when it comes to speaking candidly about her struggles with physical and mental health. Remember that kidney situation? And now she has talked in more detail about the hold anxiety sometimes has over her life. I believe she was like the most followed social media star at some point on Instagram. So, I mean, I feel like that alone would just give me so much anxiety. I wouldn't want to post ever. Speaking at a mental summit for World Mental Health Day, she spoke about her sleeping arrangement, which she claims she doesn't sleep in her own bedroom anymore because it triggers memories of some of her darkest moments. And I do appreciate that Selena is so outspoken about this because it's rare that we see celebrities so candid about it. We usually just see the aftermath. She shares, I actually don't even sleep in my own bedroom anymore because I associate it with a really dark time. I'm a very anxious person. It's kind of like doomsday, and I think having a positive conversation with yourself, even if that sounds weird, can be really impactful. And I actually can relate to what she's saying here too, because when I do get into my anxious moments, it's like a sense of dread, and I speak about it to my therapist, and it makes sense, and I'm sure you guys have experienced that before. Comment below. Now, we heard a lot about Selena's condition when she released her documentary, My Mind and Me, in 2022. She shared, I didn't want to leave my bed for years, and part of it was I wasn't doing the work, and you have to believe in yourself and do the work that will truly enlighten you a little bit. Oh my gosh, I not to say I relate to her, Selena Gomez. I'm not trying to be quirky like that, but I'm also a person. I'll just lay in my bed. You just lay in your bed and you wait for things to change, and it is like hard to get out of that mindset. But yeah, nothing's going to change as much as you sleep it off, and I'll sleep for like 14 hours when I'm really feeling it.
I found out I have a diagnosis of bipolar disorder. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't want to go to a mental health hospital, but I didn't want to be trapped in myself and my mind anymore. I thought my life was over. I was like, this is how I'm going to be forever.
Now, 2 years after the documentary's release, Selena says she still struggles with the attention she gets from fans, but she tries to focus on how much she means to them. Like before I step out of the car, there's going to be a lot of noises and stuff. If that's the case, I'm not saying that's every day, but I have to breathe. I have to say all of this is a gift, and I may not be in the mood for this, but every time I see someone and end up making them smile, it always makes my day no matter how I'm feeling, which is sweet. Selena Gomez says her mom, Mandy, who gave birth to her when she was just 16 years old, which that's difficult for Mandy. And Selena and her mother Mandy have had their moments. We've talked about this in previous videos. They did have a rough patch where there was a bit of a feud around the time when Selena fired her mother Mandy as her manager. But Selena was quoted saying, my mom has always taught me that the noise is going to be there constantly, but it's about finding that moment where I actually physically say, no, I'm a good person. I'm kind. I work really hard. I'm grateful. I love all the little things in life, and I need that reminder, especially when you are so rich, so famous, you pretty much could have it all. And while that does seem like a position that every person would want to be in, once you're in it, it hits different. She added that curating a small network, including her therapist, has been key to dealing with her mental health. I don't have a lot of people in my life. I know who my inner circle is. I have to talk things out, and I have a therapist too, but it's also nice to have people around you who will just listen. There's a freedom in letting go of whatever is keeping you stuck and lump in your throat. I feel like Selena does have a hard time standing up for herself, and she lets it build up. And my assumption of this, I mean, besides the coverage I've done over her for years now, but because she's a child star.
See, Eric, it's like a ride. Whee!
Now, Eric, I'm going to tap Ronnie's teeth with this little tool. It won't hurt a bit.
See, it's like a tooth tapping tool.
So at Disney, it's like about pleasing your parents, pleasing the staff. She's a people pleaser to her core, which a lot of us are. It's not like the worst thing to be one, but it's not good for yourself. And I think that she needs to allow herself to vent and to feel these things and to recognize, yeah, I may have like so much money, but I also have problems. So thankfully she has the friends to go and do that. So imagine this, you're out grabbing a coffee, maybe running a quick errand, and then out of nowhere, bam, you're in a car accident and now you've got medical bills adding up like a bad to-do list. And no surprise, the insurance company is giving you the runaround. It's like, really, can I catch a break? Sadly, this happens way too often. You've got these firms that promise you the world and leave you buried in paperwork and stuck with those low-ball settlements. That's not right, but it doesn't have to be your story. Enter Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. These guys are like the Avengers of legal help. With over 1,000 attorneys and offices in each state, they've got the muscle to take on big insurance companies and fight for you. And let me tell you, they don't mess around. Just this year, they locked in a $26 million settlement in Philly, 40 times the insurance offer. So clearly Morgan & Morgan is the firm you want fighting for you. Plus, it's super easy, no appointments, no stuffy meetings. You could submit everything they need right on your phone. And it doesn't cost you a dime unless you win. So if you've been injured or you know somebody, don't wait. You can go to forthepeople.com/Sloan, or you could check out my link in the description below. Remember, it's all free unless you win. Morgan & Morgan has your back because they're for the people. Thank you for sponsoring this video and enjoy.
At one point, she's like, I don't want to be alive right now. And it was one of those moments where you look in her eyes and there's nothing there. You're like, okay, f this, like, this needs to end, like, we need to go home.
I just remember it being very chaotic, and she was hearing all of these voices. They just kept getting louder and louder and louder. That triggered some sort of psychotic break.
I was scared she was gonna die.
It seems like Selena's doing better nowadays, but she's still not sleeping in her own bedroom. And I feel like, I mean, at that rate, just go ahead and sell the house if you really want to detach from that old person who used to be yourself, you know, in a more sick state. Though mental health is a continuous battle, and someone who's been very close to Selena Gomez, Justin Bieber, is really feeling it right now. This headline reads, Justin Bieber doesn't trust everyone around him as he's haunted by the ghosts of his past. Justin Bieber is struggling to trust people around him and is isolating himself from people who have been close to him for decades. Now, Justin is a new father. He is married. Maybe he just wants to stay at home and keep his circle small, kind of like Selena has. But the singer's most recent public appearances have left fans and longtime friends worried. Insiders say the haunted-looking star, which that's really mean, who has been open about substance use and anxiety and depression, admits that he previously used Xanax to deal with the shame of his promiscuity and is battling the ghosts of his past. Now, I don't think Justin looks terrible. I mean, actually, he's a very handsome-looking guy. He looks sad. That's what's like really the takeaway. I think that's what they're trying to say here too. I mean, he just looks really beaten down, a little bit lost. Now, this article did not suggest that Justin is using any kind of substances right now, and I don't think Haley would allow that to happen, to be honest. I mean, I don't think Haley is gonna fly with that. But here's an old clip of Justin talking a little bit about how dark it got.
I was popping pills, I was doing Molly, you know, shrooms, everything, and it was just an escape for me.
This article reads, Justin has been drawn into the arrest of Diddy as worrying videos have resurfaced of the disgraced music mogul making TV appearances with Justin. One insider said, do I believe that he was involved in some stupid stuff? Yeah. Who worked with Justin Bieber's team for years. He was a teenager. He was the biggest pop star in the world. Everyone was worried about him. We didn't know if he would survive it. People took advantage of everything he did. And I do wonder if, like, you know, if he was around Diddy, I'm not going to say that like Justin was a person that harmed other people, but like if he was around Diddy, like was Diddy just harming him or was he teaching him his ways, you know? And I don't think Justin to his core is this evil person, which is why he's struggling so hard now. But the sources are not holding back, and here's an update. A music source says it's a two-way street. Justin's done some really crazy stuff and he's alienated people around him. He doesn't trust them. According to an insider, family members are concerned about Justin. It's unclear whether Diddy would have taken advantage of Justin at the time, as his family was nearby and his manager, Scooter Braun, did really care about him. But saying that, Justin did go through a really bad period and a rebellious phase, which I made an Instagram reel and a TikTok. Go and check it out at Sloan Hooks. And I went through the time period of when Justin did his 48 hours with Diddy, and then he went on to commit crimes months after. Prior to that 48 hours with Diddy, he didn't have any bad behavior. Actually, one of these instances where Justin was arrested was in Miami, where Diddy has a home. I believe that Diddy has close connections to the LAPD and to Miami police, which is why Justin said these police were corrupt by arresting me. And, maybe they were, but I have a feeling that maybe Diddy had a connection with them, was able to orchestrate some type of arrest, kidnapping, and to go and scoop up Justin when he wasn't doing what Diddy was ordering. Here's a clip of Justin recounting his worst arrest experience.
What was the worst moment of your teenage years?
My worst moment of my teenage years was probably being locked up. It was scary. It was in Miami. But what people don't know about that story is the police actually were being corrupt. And I know this sounds crazy, but when they clocked me for driving, I was actually going under the speed limit. They said that we were drag racing and all this sort of stuff, and it just wasn't true. So just clarification, I wasn't drinking and driving, all that sort of stuff, So, yeah, I don't think I've ever really set the record straight. I think I did a little bit, but yeah, that's the truth.
Now, Justin, like Selena Gomez, dropped a documentary titled Justin Bieber Seasons, where he talked about his mental health struggles, saying there was a time I was sipping codeine, cough syrup, and soda, popping pills. I was doing Molly, shrooms, and everything. It was hard for me being that young in the industry, but nobody else understood, and they all turned their back on him when he didn't do what they wanted. Messed up. Where are your parents, Justin? I mean, are we even giving the parents a little bit of a hard time for all of this? Speeding up to nowadays, it seems like Justin is trying to hold on to his family at home, which is part of the reason why he's isolating. The singer's family are said to be in love with baby Jack. People have tried to take advantage of Justin for so long. We just don't want anything to divert from Jack and his life now. Justin sold the publishing rights and royalties to his music back in January 2023 for over $200 billion, so he's got a ton of money. But it's weird because a lot of superstars, they sell their catalogs when they're 60 or 70 or getting close to dying. So I don't know why he did this now. Maybe he really is just retiring from putting out albums and going on tour. Justin Bieber took a hold of his finances earlier this year by firing Lou Taylor. Keep in mind, she's the woman that put Britney Spears in a conservatorship and sent me a ton of cease and desist letters. She's also been known to be working for Diddy before, and I actually saw the police outside her office when they were raiding it. Now, I briefly brought up the parents, but I want to talk more about his mother. With the headline reading, Justin Bieber's mom faces criticism for leaving him to Diddy. Now, his mother actually gave birth to him at a home for teenage mothers, and she's facing criticism for giving him up to Diddy. A source said that Justin should have never been allowed to party with Diddy or anyone else when he was a teen. Where's his mom? The insider said that Justin was thrown to the wolves by his own mother and his father, Jeremy. However, another insider added there's no evidence to suggest that Justin's parents knew what Diddy was doing to him. Justin's father, Jeremy, was never really in the picture. They split up right about the time that he was born, but she revealed her own trauma in her book, Nowhere But Up, the story of Justin Bieber's mom, where she revealed how she was harmed by a male babysitter when she was a kid and a friend's grandfather at the age of 5, which is interesting because a lot of people would think that maybe she would be a little bit more aware of her own child being harmed if she had gone through this herself. But again, trauma doesn't work in that way. She wrote, I was violated so many times that as the years went on, it began to feel normal. It's a strange marriage, knowing something is wrong, yet at the same time finding it familiar and a commonplace, which is just sick and sad that she had to endure that. Now, I don't think his mother was fully aware of what he was going through within the music industry, but I have a feeling that she knew something. I mean, it was her son. She was cashing in on him. She also could see the headlines, the videos, the clips of him partying at Diddy. So what was she thinking? It's a sad sight to see. If you guys watched the recent Blind Item breakdown, it looks like Justin may be speaking soon, especially after his wife Haley revealed her feelings about the Diddy situation. There's a lot of information coming out about everyone, so make sure you are tuned into my TikTok and my Instagram at SloanHooks and subscribe to my channel. And until next time, I'll see you in a new video soon. Bye, guys.